Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Awaluddin Pandu Ramadan. Today we will begin the Q&A session for the last presentation. So, if there are any question for me, please feel free to ask your question.
Okay, excuse me. I have a question for you. Um, what if the students can't answer all the answers correctly? Can it still be said that students have to the characters of the scientific? I'm sorry, character of scientists?
Okay, thank you for your question. So, for me, I think it is okay for the student if there are can answer all the question because the students are still in the learning stage or learning process, so there is must be a step that are have to pass to learn the character of scientist. So it doesn't immediately for the students to have the character, but there is process in the learning. So the student will learn the character of scientist in the learning process using the bingo games in the learning, yeah, in the learning session in the class. So I think that is
Okay, thank you, Pandu. I've got it.
yes for Anissa. Please ask your question.
Okay, my name is Anissa Nurfadilah. I want to ask about your presentation. It was mentioned that bingo game can increase students' creativity. What activities in this game that can increase students' creativity?
Okay, Anisha, thanks for your question. So the activity that can increase the creativity, I think in the games, the teacher can, for example, in the bingo games, teacher can add some questions that are categories by high order thinking skill question. So to answer that question, students should think creative or like thinking out of the box like that. So the student will answer the question correctly.
Okay, thank you for your answer.
Okay. Yeah. Next is for Esmita.
Okay, thank you. I have a question about your presentation article. Why did you choose bingo game as a solution to improve student understanding compared to other learning media such as YouTube, which may be more effective for improving student understanding? Thank you.
Okay. Thanks for the question. So in my article, that is use the bingo games as a learning media, right? So the use of bingo games, or we know that use of game as a learning media is um, one of alternative way that can make students interested in learning, because if we use the game-based learning method, the atmosphere in the class. So it will feel like happier or funnier because we use some games in the learning process. So the students will attracted to the learning process in the class. If if it is compared to other media like YouTube, we know that if we use YouTube, we just watch the video, right? If we use the other media such as, for example, is bingo games or the other learning media, the students will do it learning process by themselves. So I think the students will have the better understanding for the material. So if it compare to YouTube, the student just watch the video, but if we use the bingo games, the students will do the activity by themselves. So the understanding of students about the material will be better.
Okay, thank you for your answer.
Okay, thanks for you guys. So I think that is the Q&A session for me. And the next session is for Rahma Fatika Sari. So the time is yours. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Pandu. Uh, Let me introduce myself. My name is Rama Fatika Sari, NIM 40014190034. Okay, guys. I think you must have questions after you watch my presentation videos, so you can ask me by say your name. Okay, go on. Okay. The first is from Pandu. So if you have questions, please say it to me.
Okay. My name is Aldin Pandu Ramadan. So I have a question. In the presentation, it was said that there were several shortcomings that Rumah Belajar Kemdikbud had. In your opinion, what shortcomings need to be corrected immediately so that Rumah Belajar Kemdikbud can become an even better learning medium?
Okay, thank you, Pandu, for your question. Um, I think the error in the application version as well as the website version of Rumah Belajar Kemendikbud they must be corrected in the virtual class because according to Pustekom Kemendikbud, the function of virtual class is to facilitate synchronous or face-to-face learning online. However, because the error, students and teachers cannot take advantage of it. So it is the answer for me.
Okay, thank you, Rahman.
Okay, you're welcome, Pandu. Okay, the next one, Anissa, please. Do you have question for me?
Okay, thank you for your time, Tika. Uh, my name is Anissa Nurfadilah. I want to ask, in your opinion, what features should be added to the Rumah Belajar Kemendikbud and why do you propose that feature? Thank you.
Okay. So in my opinion, the features that should be added in the Rumah Belajar Kemendikbud are the attendance features of student and the task feature. The addition of the feature is intended so that Rumah Belajar Kemendikbud can also be used as a learning management system or LMS in addition to being used as learning medium so that Rumah Belajar Kemendikbud can be a choice of learning management system or LMS and learning media that is free and complete.
Okay, thank you for your answer, Tika.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, the last one is me. Do you have uh, a question for me?
Okay, thank you. Let me ask you a question about your presentation article. Why did what makes the learning saturation become a serious problem, and why did you choose Rumah Belajar Kemendikbud as a solution? Thank you.
Okay. The saturation of junior high school students during online learning became one of the important problems marked by survey with Google Form. The 5 of the 9 study indicators were still experienced by the students of the respondents. So, one way to overcome the saturation is to use learning media that is integrated with technology, one of which is Rumah Belajar Kemendikbud. In addition, Rumah Belajar Kemendikbud also has features. They are quite complete and can be used for free in accordance with the learning materials that will be delivered to the students.
Okay, thank you, Rahma, for your answer.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, guys, I guess uh, all of your questions have been answered all. So please, to Anissa, the time it's yours.
Okay, thank you Tika for the time. My name is Anissa Nurfadilah, NIM 414-19-037. So I open one term for three questioners. Please, those who want to ask, introduce themselves first and ask your question. Okay, Pandu.
Okay, my name is Awaluddin Pandu Ramadan. So I have a question. The question is, what are the advantages of the NOS learning approach as a way to improve students' investigative abilities when it compared to other learning approach? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the questions. So the advantage of NOS is through the nature of science learning approach, students can understand science completely and can improve science process skill. Because through this learning approach, students are not only taught theoretically, but students are also taught to find out how the theory can be found. Okay, is there any question?
I have a question, Anissa.
Okay, Tika.
What is difference between the NOS approach and the inquiry learning model? Because basically they both carry out experimental activities.
Okay, thank you for the question, Tika. So, nature of science is learning approach, while inquiry learning is a learning model. So, the two cannot be compared. I'm sorry, I cannot answer your question. Maybe is there any question?
Okay.
Okay, is me there?
Okay, thank you. My question is, what are the main indicators of the nature of science approach that can improve the investigation ability? Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the question. According to Next Generation Science Standards 2013, the indicator of knowledge that can improve investigative ability is science is a way to knowing by involving many people, not only scientists, so students are also involved and taught to investigate, so that later they can fully understand knowledge and can see everything scientifically. So that's all for me. Uh, Next session is from Ismija Rahmawati. The time is yours.
Let me introduce myself. My name is Ismida Rahmawati, NIM 401 Okay, for all the audience who have any question, please introduce yourself and ask your question. Okay, for Pandu.
Okay, my name is Awaluddin Banu Ramadan. My question is why the point need large enough memory is included in the advantage of using ER. Thank you.
Okay, so the answer is according to Mustaqim in 2017, the augmented reality must need a lot of memory. So, because the augmented reality is using the media is be able to display a high image resolution. So the image is become clear. So that's why it needs a lot of memory. I think that's all my answer. Is there any feedback from me?
I think that's okay. Thanks.
Is there any question for me?
I am.
Yes, Rahma.
Okay. Let me introduce myself. My name is Tika. So my question is, are there special specifications for laptops and device if we use ER in the learning process?
So the specification of using augmented reality is that it must provide the sufficient memory to support the media. According to Zainuddin et al. In 2016, the use of augmented reality by using smartphone, it must at least has a minimum of 4 RAM. But when you use augmented reality in laptop, the minimum is you must need a Core i3 and Windows 10. Maybe that's my answer. Is that any feedback from me?
Nope. I think it's enough.
Okay, is there any other question from me? Yes, Anissa.
Okay, thank you for the time. So I want to ask, what are the advantage of augmented reality learning media compared to other learning media? Thank you.
Okay, so the advantage of using augmented reality compared to other media is that when you use the other media such a textbook, it can only display text and image. But when you use the augmented reality, is be able to combine two-dimensional and three-dimensional objects that it can combine the virtual world into a real world by visualizing by using technology. According to Pekerti in 2017, augmented reality has the advantage of being able to make students interact with help of the technology. I think that's all my answer. Is there any feedback from Anissa?
I think it's enough. Thank you for your answer.
Okay, I think all the answer has been answered. All, all the question have been answered. So I think it's the end of the question and answer session. So thank you for all your attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.